and welcome to another Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, in this topic, our topic today is how to enhance waterfalls. So how to make a waterfall just glow. How to get that really cool popping effect in the waterfalls. So we already have a bunch of people here. Oh, this is great. Hello, Russell. Snowbirds are crossing over to the West Coast. Awesome. And let's see, my buddy Russell is in. Guys, love to see you guys coming in. My favorite cousin Marianne is joining us with this one too. All right, so let's start. First, I want to show you the image. So this is the image that I used from Unsplash, and the photographer's name is Nicole King. All right, so this is what we started with. And then we just started to embellish and changed it up a bit. I'm going to come all the way to the bottom and start with the original first. All right, now while it's doing that, there we go. Let's just talk a couple quick questions about photographing waterfalls. So depending on the time of day you're going is going to dictate what your equipment's going to be. Typically with waterfalls, you have the water coming in, a polarizing filter would be great because it'll limit the reflection from the water and the specular highlights coming from the sun. A lot of people love to use neutral density filters. And the ND filter, you put right on your lens, either the screw-on one or the drop-in filter. And what that's going to do is effectively give you more stops of light for you to deal with. Because remember, we're photographing this in broad daylight. And if we drag the shutter speed, we're going to let less light in. And if we want to use, let's say, an f-stop of 16, or even 8 to 16, that's still letting in a lot of light. So a couple tricks, like in my camera, the native resolution on my camera, the ISO, is 64. That's the native resolution on my Nikon D810. I can go down lower, but then it's not the native resolution, but I think it's like L2 and L1, which effectively is like a 32 ISO, which means it helps to where it doesn't let in as much light. So in a case like that, I've done that before, to where if I wanted to get as fast of a shutter speed as I possibly could while keeping my f-stop where it is, I would bring my ISO way down, and that would help me accomplish what I was looking for. If I had the neutral density filters, then I would just put one of those suckers on, and I'm good to go. So, to get the waterfall to slow its movement, it's silky smooth, obviously we need to make the shutter speed go very slow. So by making it go slow, it's letting in a lot more light. So that's why it's important to have those neutral density filters, or crank your f-stop up to like f16, all right? So let's dive in on some of the editing techniques. So I'm gonna go all the way to the bottom. Let's see. There it is. So here's the original image. Once it comes up. Now, was that the original? Oh, here it is. That's the crop version. There we go. All right. So we're not going to make the same mistake as what we did earlier. Keep in mind, when you need to crop or repair an image, do that before you start. Well, that's my opinion. Do that before. I like to do it before I start adding tools to it. So this way, it's not on a flattened layer. So and for this particular image, up here is kind of bothering me just a little bit. So yes, I did do a little cropping. Now I feel at peace. So I'm going to begin my editing. So when I did that, let's come up here. Notice it created a new layer. I didn't make the new layer yet. Wait 1 second. Oh, it will in a moment. It's repairing. It's setting it up. So here's my layers. Crop. There it is, and done. There we go. All right, so now that we have it set, let's create a new layer. So that's on my base layer. So I'm going to create a new layer, a new adjustment layer. And now on this adjustment layer is where we'll start building our techniques. Now in doing this, another reason for this is if I want to save it as a Luminar look, it only saves the tools that are on that layer. So that's why if we did all these really cool effects, cropped it, and then did more effects after the crop, we're not going to be able to save all of those. All right? So here we go. All right, the first step, of course, yep, you guessed it, AI Enhance. So I'm going to let it bring out some of the color and detail. But, you know, the structure, I have to make a decision here. If I increase, like I love the structures in the rocks, but then everything else is getting that crunchy effect, or we could go with a smoother effect like this, and that will kind of add to the mystique. I think that's what I'll do here. And let's boost it for the intensity of it. All right, before, after, not a whole lot is going on. Let's bring it in a little bit more. And you know what? Just out of curiosity, let's see if it gave us the camera settings. Nope, it did not. Darn it. That would have been nice to see what her settings were. All right, before and after. And by the way, in the chat, do me a favor, let me know, do you typically, and we've asked this a million times, do you typically apply your cropping and all your effects before or after you start your edits? All right? All right, so we have this here. Now I'm going to come down to the dehaze. And notice I haven't gotten to the glowing part yet. This is definitely going to make everything look a little darker. Good. Let's do a golden hour. Nope. Any foliage, I know I don't need to do that. All right. And pop a little vignette in here. Good. Right about there. All right. So far we're off to our typical way of editing. All right. Now, here's where we're going to get the water to give us that glowing effect. We already have it looking, because she shot it this way. She slowed it down, so it looks pretty good. Let's come down to the creative edits and mystical. All right, so here we are with mystical. Look at this. Now that's way overboard, but look what it's doing to the water. Let's see what it does to the shadows here. Ooh, look at that. If we look at the advance. So, and I'm doing this only because I like to see, where we're heading or what the full effect could be. Look at this. Good. Smoothness. Ooh, that's pretty cool. All right. And then we can bring out the shells a bit more. All right, now let's tone this back a little bit. Good, right about here. All right. And slowly we're getting the effect that we're looking for. Look at that. Let me go to 100%. So here's the water. All right. Good. So it's giving that little, it's starting to get that glow effect. Now, let's see. I want to add a little more softness to it. I like that. All right. That's pretty cool. It's so funny because the goal is not to have to use the advanced settings, but sometimes, like in this case, we did. And I haven't gone into the advanced settings in a while. And there's some really cool options that we have in the advanced settings. Good. Let's go. Let's see. What did Cedric say? I would use a brush on just the water. Good job. Yes, Cedric, we're going to get to that part in a moment. So Cedric was saying is he would use just the brush on the water. Now, keep in mind, when we do that, when we save it as a look, for the next one, that effect won't be there. But I have a real quick tip. And Cedric, make sure you remind me to put that little tip in there. All right? So, we're here, and let's go to glow. So with glow, you have soft focus, and you have glow, or you have both of them together. Let's see what it does. It's a little overboard. So I just want to pick, let's go with a glow for a moment. Let's see what glow does. All right. All right, and bring it back a bit. Ooh, now it's starting to get what we're looking for. All right. So we have these two options. So let's try what Cedric was talking about. Before I do that, let me come up to light. And I want to add a little more contrast, but not too much. But really, it's the black. Enriching the black. Ooh, there we go. To do that, I'm going to pop out the shadows a little. There we are. I like that. And one last one. Let's come over to advanced contrast. And now we're just dealing with the highlights. All right. So let's see what this is going to do for us. Good. It's toning it down just a bit. So if we did this right, we may not have to mask, but I still think we should, just for artistic. Here we are. And the shadows. Nope, shadows I'm going to leave where they are. All right. Now this top half here is kind of bugging me just a little bit. So let's come over to the gradient, and just on the top, let's dial it back just a little bit. Good. And then we'll set the orientation to where I want it way up here. There we go. All right. Good. So we have it set. Now let's go into the looks. Save it. And we'll call this Waterfall 2. All right. So now that we have it set to Waterfall 2. All right. So remember, you talked about using the brush. All right. So we talked about using the brush. If that's the case, what we could do is come back over. For mystical, turn it off. And for glow, turn it off. Now that I turn those two off, let's go back to our Waterfall 2. And now I want to update it with the current setting. Guys, think why I chose to do that. So by doing what we just did, now we're including glow, and we're also including mystical in the new look. So we're including them in the look. They're just not activated yet. So when you open up this look, you can apply it to your images and then go in and now do what we were just talking about. I'm gonna turn it on, edit the mask, brush, and I want to paint in the effect at 100% opacity to make my life easier. What I'm using is a tablet. So this is a surface, and I'm going to just paint or brush onto the waterfall. And notice when I did that, what just happened. Everything else disappeared. I'm going to do this right here. Good. I'm going to click the visibility icon. So this is showing me where we're painting. Good. Yes, Cedric, I've done that many a times too. Good, so we have that set. Oh, I like that. And we're done. All right, let's see what it does. Look at that. Before and after. Let me zoom in just a little bit more real estate. Here we go. Before and after. Good. I'd be honest with me. Is that leaf right there killing you? because I'm telling you right now, it's killing me. So we'll have to wait to the very, very end to get rid of that, because I don't want to mess, I don't want to start over. And technically I could, technically we could start over, but for now, let's not. Because all we have to do is click all we have to do is click the looks and we're set. So Mystical did a pretty good job with that. So let's go back up to Glow, or down to Glow, and look what Glow is doing. All right, I'm going to dial back Glow just a little bit. And I actually like Glow on all of it, so that's fine. All right. So that's looking pretty good. Before and after. Let's see. So I like where we're heading, and I'd probably leave it right like this for now. But just out of curiosity, let's come up here and see if the sun rays would be appropriate. Like right in here. Let's see what the sun rays is going to do for us. Ooh, not bad. And let's make it a little warmer. Let me hide the dot. There we go. All right. Ooh, not bad. Not bad. Maybe we should move it. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. Now, you know what's funny is now that I see this, I have a photo from South Dakota that I did something that I captured the sun rays coming out of a waterfall like this, but I just couldn't get it the exact way I wanted it. So this, I think, may be the next option once I find that image again. All right, and let's see. Where's penetration? Good, right about here. And hide it. All right. I'm going to dial it, mount it down again. There we go. Just a little bit. All right, that's not bad. Hello from Germany, or hello to Germany. Oh, thank you so much. What time is it over there, Fisher? All right, so before and after. Now's the time we have to decide when do I step away. So let's come up here first. Nope, I don't need to adjust. I like that where it's at. What I do have to do, we talked about this, is I'm going to go around, and that little spot right there is killing me. So let's see what we can do with that. Zoom in, dab, erase. Nice. And done. Isn't it funny how something that little could be distracting? I mean, just something like that, because just that little itty bitty dead leaf or whatever it was made it look distracting. All right, here we are. So, I'll get back to it. Before and after. Wow. Well, I'm glad you stayed up with us. All right, so guys, with that being said, there's 1,000 different ways we could do these edits. The whole concept of what I'm trying to do here is teach you a philosophy or a logic on how you attack an edit. So in a case like this, one of them is fine. So if this were for a print competition and we were going to spend extra time with it, what we just did was perfect. If it were just a quick, hey, you know what, this is a reference photo. I want to show my family and friends, we're at this waterfall, I have 40 of those images, let me apply the same effect on all of them, and then pick one or two that I want to hang up around the house, or give away as gifts. You could do that too. So, Maurice is laughing. So those are things that we could do. So those are things that we could do with our images. And what's neat about this is this particular shot, although it's not mine, I mean, I like it. You know, I have friends who really love waterfalls. You know what we could do? What I have a few minutes. So I have a few friends of mine that hey, thank you. So I have a few friends of mine who love black and white. So why don't we try that real quick? We're on the erase layer, but let's create a new layer, a new adjustment layer, and then bring those looks out. Let's do the essentials. Here's the classic black and white look. Ooh, you know what? We're onto something. we're definitely onto something. Yeah, okay, good. Marianne asked, very good question, Marianne. Marianne asked, when you export photos back to Lightroom, does Luminar, does the history export as well? Now, think about that. If you bring them over from Lightroom over into Luminar, what you're doing is you're making a copy from Lightroom, you're making a copy of the image, bringing it in, and then you're applying all of your edits to it, then you're throwing it back out. So you're not saving it to your catalog. So those images, those edits you just created are not being saved. Two ways to work around that. And one way is to create a look before you exit. So before you exit back into Lightroom, create a look. But if you did all the stuff that we just did, then the look is just part of it. The second way to do it is to bring it into Photoshop as a smart object. So from Lightroom, just say open in Photoshop as a smart object. You don't need to know Photoshop. Photoshop opens. Now from the filter menu, just go in and it's already a smart object. Go into Luminar from that direction. Now it's a smart filter. When it goes back into Lightroom, it'll be a PSD file, and all of your changes will be saved. All right. Rich Harrington and I did something pretty cool on that in one of the last webinars. You can find that on skylum.com. All right. Now, by the way, and I mentioned to you guys this before. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Here we go. Fuji, they're one of our partners for the coffee, from Luminar Coffee Break. They sent me the XT3 with 3 different lenses, and I'm dying to go out and photograph. I almost, keyword almost, and don't get upset, Marianne, I almost booked a flight to New York to see my sister. Watkins Glens has a ton of waterfalls. Here in Florida, not so many waterfalls. But my son did mention Georgia is not too far from here. I can hop in the car and make a day trip out of it. Go up to Georgia, photograph the waterfalls, and come back. I mean, because after watching this, I got excited again. One of my waterfall images I want to recreate that I took is Tehican Falls. So, Fuji, I want to thank you so much for being our partner. In fact, you guys remember, they still have the ebooks that they're giving away. It's the 6B lighting techniques, and the other one was on portraits. So the other one was on portraits. Where'd I go? There I go. All right. So I'm hoping to get out real soon and start shooting. Now, let me get back real quick. Where are we? Right here. Oh, look at this. I love this in black and white. Hey, how you doing, bud? I love how this came out in black and white, and I think for black and white, the difference would be, I would definitely want to come over and crank the daylights out of the details, because black and white kind of screams for that. Oh, look at that. And then let's say vignette. Oh, look at that. Oh, you know what? I tried this earlier today, but I wasn't as happy as what I am now with how I am with this one. So I actually like this one, and I think I would spend a little bit more time. I'm now making the water come back. Let's see. Let's add another adjustment layer. And this time, structure, let's bring it way down. Not too much, right about here. Now, like we did earlier, and I could just copy the mask, but let's just paint that the softness back into, there we go, right into it. And since I'm here, mask, I want to copy the mask. Done. And if I go back to the layers and drop back to this layer, and we said we went nuts, here we go, on the detail enhancer. Well, now I'm going to go into the brush, and what I want to do here is paste the mask that I did earlier. There it is. Well, bad job there, Vanelli. All right, there we go. Let's get rid of some of that. So you see how I didn't have to redo the mask? So you see how I didn't have to redo it because I just copied it from the other mask and then brought it into here. And done. There we are. And let's go all the way back to the top layer. And we're finished. Guys, this was very educational on my end too, because you kind of pushed me out of my own comfort zone. Being a sports and portrait photographer, I don't do a whole lot of landscaping or landscape photography, but that's not to say I don't want to. I can't wait to start getting more into it. But guys, thank you so much. And again, check out those ebooks from Fuji, and I'll see you guys in the next Luminar coffee break. Emmanuel, thank you so much, by the way. Let me pop this up in here. Thank you guys so much. Hey, and please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. So just to show our sponsors or our partners that you're enjoying these, and thank you so much for the comments. And make sure you leave the comments below about things you'd want to learn in the next coffee break. Thanks again for joining us.